Hey loves, I hope you're having a fantastic day. I'm just here to remind you, do not separate yourself from your specific person in this reality. I know when we're manifesting an SP, it feels like it's so much harder or different than anything else that we are going to be manifesting around us. And this is something I've heard time and time again, and you've actually heard me say it on this channel. You've actually read it in my book, if you've read that as well. There is this idea that we begin to separate a normal manifestation from our specific person manifestation, and we begin to think that it is something harder or different than what you've been manifesting around you since the day that you became conscious. Everything is a reflection of your internal state. So think about that for a moment. And again, like I've talked about in this channel before, everything around you, look at this lamp, look at this bed, look at this window, all of that is a product of our internal consciousness. And in the same way that looking at these bed, lamp, window, you don't consciously have to exert or try and do anything to make it so. It's there based on our assumption. And I never want you to make this separation when it comes to anything that you're manifesting, and then when it comes to your specific person manifestation. And even think about how we begin to approach it. Let's say in the next week, you wanted to manifest something you would say is small. Now, I put air quotes around that because everything in our reality is just as easy to manifest as the next thing, but we think based on our assumptions that they are different. So let's say in this next week, you wanted to manifest something small. Like, let's say the generic idea of manifesting a free cup of coffee. So what would you do and how would you get into the state of that, right? You would assume it, get into the feeling state, and then that's it, right? You wouldn't necessarily overthink it, because when it comes to manifesting a cup of coffee, you're not too worried about it. Your assumptions and beliefs are already in alignment with that, and you're not overthinking it. You're not thinking, what limiting beliefs do I have to overcome in order to get it? Those are just kind of prerequisites that we're putting on our belief or on our manifestation of what we desire. And think about manifesting a free cup of coffee. I'm sure a lot of us have even done it because that's kind of like the generic quick manifestation that you would have. But the goal is then, think about how you would act manifesting a cup of coffee. Now think about currently with your specific person manifestation, how do you act when it comes to that? Think about your attention and energy used and expended for the cup of coffee and compare it to what you've been doing for your specific person manifestation. And if you're really going to dive into this, and I would take time to do it, so in this video might not be enough time to actually look at those, but really apparently you would say there is a difference, right? Instantly you would say, I treat a cup of coffee much different than I treat my specific person. And in that case, if we're manifesting really easily this cup of coffee, why would we change it to something else? And a really, really good example to remember and keep yourself in the state that manifestation is always working, whether you're thinking about it or not, is to think about any other fundamental law of our reality. Now, I will say manifestation is in control of all of these laws because you could technically manifest or create anything in your reality. But think about how we feel as if manifesting an SP I would say manifesting a cup of coffee more aligns with our natural state and how we actually act in accordance with it as compared to manifesting a specific person. But think about gravity, right? Does gravity work or not work compared to what you're thinking about it? Does gravity only work once you know about it? You would say absolutely not. I was being affected by gravity before I logically knew about it. But that's the same thing when it comes to manifestation. We begin to think that conscious manifestation and trying to really get something we love and desire is different from all of our other manifestations. And we mentally categorize it in that same way. And think about the free cup of coffee that we're going to manifest. what compartment would you put that cup of coffee? You wouldn't necessarily feel or put it into the idea of conscious manifestation. I know we all think we would, because we're like, well, that's something I'm consciously doing. But we'd be like, no, that's too easy, too effortless. We wouldn't necessarily put it on the same caliber as we would manifesting a specific person. But there is literally no difference. Manifesting a cup of coffee, try to think and even write out exactly what you would do, think, and act as you are manifesting this cup of coffee. And then I want you to literally copy it in the same way that you would manifest a specific person. And I wanted to make a different video on this idea of altering our mind that I'm going to do in the next video, so keep an eye out for that. But I just wanted to kind of remind everyone that there's no difference. We wake up, we're manifesting during the day, we're manifesting at night, we're manifesting. There's never a time that our assumptions are not reflecting outside of us in our external reality. And in the same way that we sometimes think negative thoughts or worries and fears are going to mess up our manifestation. When was the last time your negative thoughts or worries disabled gravity? You would say not that often, right? Because our mind is always going to approach and be aligned with things that make us feel safe, feel positive, and feel abundant. And changing gravity is a huge kind of change and shift that we necessarily wouldn't love. So the idea of negative thoughts messing that up or messing up your specific person manifestation is just an outrageous idea. It's not going to happen. Your thoughts don't manifest, your assumptions do. But this whole belief can get us into the feeling and thinking state that everything can happen fast. Because think about the cup of coffee idea. We think that's going to happen fast because our mind is instantly thinking there's a million different ways I could get a free cup of coffee, right? The thinking and thought process and path to that is very abundant. But now I want you to think about your specific person. Do you have the same unlimited, abundant thinking as pertain to your specific person? Or do we feel as if there's only one way to get there and it must go according to that idea? And anytime it doesn't go according to that idea, we kind of freak out, worry, or begin thinking that our manifestation isn't coming. I made a whole video about how when our logical mind wants to create a path to something that we really, really, really desire, and this can actually work against us. And I just want to quickly remind everyone, because when you make a mental path to what you want, anytime it strays away from that, you begin to fear or worry. Like, let's say we think our specific person should text us 10 times a day, but like that's an assumption we have in order to get into a relationship, and they text us 9 times a day. We would start freaking out. No, I want my manifestation, I want my specific person. They need to text me that extra time a day. But you'd be like, being texted that much a day is awesome and amazing, but we're kind of negating it because of our assumptions. So when you think there's a path from here to here with your specific person, and it must follow that path, or you feel like a failure. But how do you feel when it comes to manifesting the cup of coffee? You know, here's where you begin. Here's your free cup of coffee. And you kind of imagine it as like a web or a bunch of different outcomes, possibilities that are going to lead you to that free cup of coffee. And we never are so intense or forceful on the outcome for our cup of coffee as compared to our specific person. But I really want you to just think about this, think about the difference, and think of how much easier and better it's going to be thinking of your specific person manifestation as that free cup of coffee as compared to the opposite. And then you're going to see that your feelings, assumptions, and beliefs on how quick you can manifest your SP get so much better overnight. But absolutely try this out and then let me know what you guys think of it. As always, remember, if you have any comments or questions on this, leave them in the comment section below. Also remember, you can reach out to me on my website for one-on-one coaching, or if you wanted to send me a personal question at kyleaugustcoaching.com. As always, thank you guys for stopping by today, and I'll see you in the next video.